Joe and Hampton, lights dim, this game time. Interview sharp, cut through like a shank line.
All right, Stick Lounge. We're on Facebook, Stick Lounge. We're on Instagram at Stick_Lounge. YouTube at Stick_Lounge_podcast. TikTok at Stick.Lounge.podcast. Email sticklounge@DAT CreoleSoul.com. You guys want to use the Stick Lounge podcast studio? Hit us up. We got everything set up. We'll set you up, create some content. You want to use the Stick Lounge itself? Hell yeah, you do.
I was going to do a country version, but Hamp was like,
4
no.
mics. We've got 70-inch TV. We've got darts. We've got cards. We've got chess. We've got...
I think we got Uno.
We got everything, guys. Hit us up. You want to do private party karaoke?
And Bones. I got to add
watch
Bones.
a movie with your friends?
Yeah,
you want to have a birthday party? That's what it's here for. Des Moines, Washington, right off Marine View Drive, right above Creole Soul. Thanks for listening. All right, Stick Lounge Podcast. What's going on, Hemp?
What's up, man? What's going on with you?
Another day in paradise. It's nice and gray and rainy outside. We had a couple days of sun, so now they got to screw it all up with some rain. That's what the PN Dub's all about.
Yeah, it sure does. 90% chance of rain today and 80% sunshine yesterday. I mean, just so goddamn confusing.
It is. I don't even pay attention to it anymore. You just walk outside and get wet sometimes, and sometimes you don't.
You don't know how to plan for it, you know?
You can't.
Take the food truck out. The weather's nice. And nobody's coming to the food truck and it's raining.
No. When I first moved here, there were a couple days where it was like sunny, and then it rained, and then it hailed. I'm like, what the hell's going on?
You get all
Make
the
up your mind.
You get all the seasons
all
in
the
one
seasons
place.
in one day.
Yeah.
It's bipolar
sure.
Seattle. What's going on, Creole, man?
Well, Saturday coming up, the 12th. Is that correct? Yeah, 12th.
Yeah.
We got Wood Creek Band back in the house again. Nice duo couple that plays some of the, like, what's the girl that Lily sings all the time? The song Valerie.
Amy Winehouse?
Amy Winehouse, they play.
Yeah. We had some of that in the lounge last night.
Yeah, got some of that on the soundtrack. they do well with that one. And good to have them back. They hadn't been back in a minute. And then on the 19th, we got the duo Bravo duo again.
Yep.
On that. And following that, we got Michael Powers in the house on the 25th, 26th, and 27th. So
Michael Powers is a really good local guitar player.
Yeah, it's not like Jeezy. Oh, what is it, Geezy? Who was it?
Weezer.
Weezer, okay.
Geezy, Wheezy, Jeezy. No, Weezer was on, what was Wheezy on?
Jefferson's.
Jefferson's, that's right.
How old are you?
38.
You don't know George Jefferson?
No.
What?
I grew up in Alaska. Like, I don't.
You're
Very
an
remote,
Alaska
very
one. Okay.
secluded, very
Yeah.
Like
minimal
moving
TV
on
channels.
up.
Yeah, no. I think we had like Channel
Anytime.
7 and Channel 4.
Right.
To the
So-
Deluxe
I did grow
Apartment.
up that way. I did grow up. We only had like 2 channels, but
Yeah.
Okay, then we got to break you in there slowly.
we'll have a Jefferson's party up here.
Yeah, exactly.
There you go.
Have the Jefferson. But that's about it. I heard you had a big event going on last night.
We
First
did.
time.
Yeah, we did. We did the speakeasy. I think it went pretty well, too.
Oh, that's good.
London was there. What'd you think?
It was fun. It was really nice.
Yeah, I think we had a pretty good turnout. Everybody stuck around till about 1:30. If you didn't make it, London didn't make it, but we did start karaoke about 11:30 midnight, so kind of got a little crazy. Had a little metal, we had a little R&B, we had a little punk, we had a little rock, a little country. There's a little bit of everything going on.
A little
So.
Wheezy.
No Wheezy.
No Wheezy.
No Wheezy. Or Weezer.
I wouldn't expect that from the demographic of everybody.
It's pretty funny what happens when the
very
microphones break out.
2000s, Really, you think so?
Oh, yeah.
Really did the early 2000s music.
Yeah, so that was a lounge. Went good. We'll be having more, so pay attention, everyone. And I think the next thing we got for the lounge right now is just a birthday party. Tammy's birthday party, April 19th.
On the 19th, right? Yeah.
Yep. So we're gonna change some stuff around in here, turn it into a big dance hall because she
Who's
just
Tammy?
wants Tammy. She's we interviewed her a little while back. She's actually the wife of a buddy of mine,
Okay.
and she's been to our whiskey tastings, our wine tastings. She's been on the podcast. She loves the space, and so
Yeah.
she's gonna have her birthday party up here.
Dope.
Yeah.
Fun.
Yeah.
So it'll be good.
Looking forward to that.
Yeah.
For sure. So if you missed the speakeasy last night, catch the next one, okay? Because you're missing out on something good.
Yeah, and I think the next one we're gonna step it up a little bit.
It was really good vibes.
Yeah, I want to do like a theme. I want to do like maybe a 1920s. I was thinking
That's what's up.
make people dress up a little bit.
Yeah, I like dressing up.
I know you do.
It's
You always
always
look
fun.
good.
Should have worn my afro today.
You should. You found it though, right?
I got it.
Oh yeah, we got plans for that. All right, with all that, let's introduce our guest, London Gray, correct?
Yes.
Thank you.
What's up? Welcome.
Thanks for having me.
No, thanks for coming. You actually hit us up and wanted to come on the podcast, which is
Yeah.
awesome. It makes easy work for me because I'm not trying to find people. That's starting to happen to us now where people are like, hey, I want to come on the podcast. I'm like, that's awesome. Perfect. So you are a tattoo artist.
I am.
Awesome. I see your ink. So where do you tattoo at?
I tattoo out of Local Roots.
You
down
are at
here
Local
in-
Roots over
yep,
here.
in
Okay.
downtown Des Moines. Here.
Gotcha. How long you been over there?
Been about there a few months.
Few months?
Yeah.
What about before that?
For that, I was at another place kind of up here up the street.
Mhm.
And then from there, I was at another place in Washington. And before that, a place in Alaska. And before that, New York.
Okay. So you're here from Alaska.
Yeah.
Okay. You grew up in Alaska?
hmm
What
Where?
part? Yeah, what part?
From a valley, from Wasilla.
No idea where that is.
So Wasilla is like 45 minutes north of Anchorage.
Okay. Where's Deal from?
Deal is from Ketchikan.
Ketchikan. Okay.
That's south.
That's south.
Sure.
All right.
And,
What year?
The girl last night at the bar, Emily, who was with my old roommate,
Oh, yeah. They were up here last night.
she's
Yeah.
from Kotzebue.
Where?
Kotzebue.
Kotzebue?
Yeah.
Yeah. I know about Kotzebue.
You did better than me. I don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's where she grew up at.
Oh, it sucks. It's sad.
It
That's
sucks.
boring there. There's nothing to do. You
So-
ride your quads around and dig holes.
I mean,
There's nothing
that
to
kind
do.
of sounds like where I grew up. It was just a lot of backwoods.
Where did you grow up?
Northern Nevada.
Okay.
I guess not backwoods. Back desert is what we were.
So you were digging in sand dunes.
Setting bonfires, riding
Nice.
4-wheelers. Yeah,
Ripping
pretty
shit
much.
up. Sounds
That was,
fun.
that was pretty much it. Yeah.
All right.
So when did you move from Alaska? How old were you?
I was like 21.
And you were like, I'm done with this. I'm out.
Yeah. I was like, this place is boring.
Okay.
So a lot of, I mean, throughout the years from, I would say like 16, maybe a little bit younger, my parents kind of sent me off to go other places, kind of like, you're a lot to handle, so you need to go.
That's
back.
awesome.
And like, where are you going to go put you on someone else's doorstep for a little while? So I spent some time in New York with their family. I spent some time in Mukilteo with my aunt.
Okay.
Kind of bounced around a little bit. And that's kind of how I knew and was a little more familiar with the areas that I ended up in later on.
That's really cool though, because a lot of parents, they don't do that. You know what I mean? They kind of, you're going to stay here. We want you to stay safe. But you know, that my parents, not that they didn't send me anywhere. We just didn't do anything. Like our family vacation was going to the lake. You know what I mean?
nice.
Maybe
Yeah.
we go to an old ghost town or something like that. But the first time I had a cousin that lived in California and we drove to her place in California and stayed there.
Okay.
I was like, holy shit, there's a whole world outside of this town. You know, it was
There's
eye-opening
more
for me. Yeah,
to
it was so
discover.
eye-opening, you know. But yeah, that's great. I actually just, one of my daughters lives in California now, but the other two are there visiting her now. And I like that I'm able to go get on a plane, grow up a little bit, you know, see the world. I think that's important.
absolutely.
So,
It's very important. Your kids being able to have that independence, to be able to get on a plane and travel by themselves, and
For
how
sure.
that it gives them such self-confidence.
it does. I was 26 the first time I flew.
How
Oh,
did you
wow.
feel?
I mean, I felt good about it. I wasn't scared or anything like
Really?
that. I'd just never done it, you
I
know?
put my daughter on a plane at 15 and flew her all the way to not Amsterdam, Denmark,
I was
Copenhagen.
gonna say lucky. Got to go.
Copenhagen,
What-
Denmark.
Is that when you were
Nice.
married to Anna?
Yeah.
Is our name
Uh-huh.
Anna or Anna?
Anna.
Anna,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. So to Copenhagen. She went through Warsaw. Then she had to switch planes. You know,
She was
so
all by herself, huh?
by herself. I wouldn't go with her. 15 years old.
So was she coming to you or going away from you?
Going away from me.
You were
She
like,
have like
see you
a-
later.
Does she have like a travel book of like language? So she like, or is
That's
She-
a good question.
you know
Yeah.
English on things, or was
No,
she
didn't.
running around like?
Just running around.
Bathroom.
I grew up
I
in a
don't
project.
know
We ain't had no language book. I mean, I had a food stamp book, but
Shit.
So I'd like to get I'm a little hungry. I have a.
how many of these you need? Let me
How many of
let me
these?
tear it out of the book.
They're like, oh, you're American. Okay.
You're
okay.
American.
Language
Now
book.
I think that would be like,
Yeah.
Listen, she just had letters, SAS. She needed to get on that plane, and
Okay.
a number behind it, 1309,
Okay.
from
So she knew where she needed to be.
She had to transfer
Warsaw to
everything.
Copenhagen. Yeah.
Damn. That's, hey, you know what? They grow up quick. They grow up quick. So you went from Alaska to New York.
That is correct. Yeah.
That's
What was
a
that
long
like?
flight.
It's not that bad. You can hit a red eye from out of Fairbanks.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Yeah, Hamp used to work for
I
Alaska.
used to be a
Airlines.
flight attendant.
Hell
so,
yeah.
Yeah, that dude used to be a flight
Who did
attendant.
you fly with?
Alaska.
Yeah, see, there's no better airline than Alaska Airlines. I'm so like,
Why do you
Bro.
say that?
because I have flown other airlines, and Alaska Airlines has always been the best
Okay.
that I've
Yeah,
flown with. They're
we're
not
top notch.
dirty. They're not dirty. The
Yeah.
What do you call them?
And one thing, the flight
They're great.
attendants are just
Attendants, thank you,
amazing.
the
You know,
flight
the flight attendants are amazing.
Oh yeah, whenever I've had anxiety flying, I would like ding the button, and I'd have somebody come over, and they were always just so sweet, like, "Oh, here's some, put this on the back of your neck." And I'm like, "This isn't gonna help me. I'm gonna die anyways, but it's okay. Thanks for carrying." Like, just really nice.
Hamstring's just to get you drunk right off the bat.
Yeah.
Well, I can't do that because I made the mistake one time of taking like flight medicine to take to fly, and then.
What do they call it?
Dramamine.
Dramamine, yeah.
Well, no, mine was like prescription. The doctor's like, "You're gonna take this and you're gonna like look dead, but you're not dead. Just tell someone you're not dead." Like, okay, great. So walking into the plane, I tell the woman like, "I have this anxiety, but I took this medicine. I'll be okay though." So I go sit down, and she comes through, and she's getting a drink order, and the guy is sitting next to me. He's getting drinks and stuff, and she's like, "I ordered mine." She's like, "I can't give you anything." And I'm like, "Well, why not? I'm old. Why can't I have a drink?" And she's like, "Well, because you admitted that you took something." And I'm like, "Yeah, but I'm on a plane. I'm not going to get belligerent, and it's a drink, So at that point, I was like, okay, I see what you're saying. Like, you want to make sure I'm safe, so that's fine. I respect you. So I sat there and was really quiet. So this man next to me is like crazy old fisherman from, Alaska, going back to Alaska.
Yeah,
he's already drunk. He's already hammered as fuck.
Well, he's
and
a fisherman, so.
He's like sitting there, and he looks at me, he goes, "What's that book you got?" And I'm like, "It's Robert's Service." And he's like, "Do you want this whiskey?" And I was like, "I really do." And he's like, "Here." So he was ordering drinks the whole flight, and he's just like kind of slightly passing them on. So at the end of the flight, I felt so bad because the attendant's like, "We need you over here, sir." And he got in trouble.
Really?
He got in
busted?
trouble. And
They don't mess around
they
on planes
wouldn't
with
let
that
him
stuff.
go to his connecting flight.
Yeah.
And I was like, "I'm so sorry." And he's like, "It was worth it."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Dude, like."
My wife and I were flying back from vacation in Mexico one time, and we stopped at the, what do they call it, the duty free or whatever?
Yeah, duty free shop.
Yeah, so we bought a bunch of alcohol there, right? We got some of the minis and stuff. And we get on the plane. I didn't know. We didn't think about it. I think I ordered a soda, and she ordered a orange juice or something. And then we
Pop,
Yeah.
dumped the minis in there.
No.
No.
You found out really quick that's not
Well, the
allowed.
lady came by to pick up the trash,
Yeah.
right? And so we handed her the minis.
It's a giveaway every time.
And one of them was not one that they sold on the plane.
That's correct.
And the lady goes, "Where'd you get this?" And my wife immediately is like, "From you?" And the lady's like, "No, you didn't." She's like, "Yeah, I did." And she just stared her. They stared each other down. She goes, "It's a federal offense to drink your own alcohol on a plane." And I'm sitting there like, oh shit. And my wife's like, "Well, I don't know where you got it from, but I got it from you." And that was the end of the conversation. She walked away, and I was like, "Okay, I'm done drinking on this flight. I'm good."
Ready
Most
to
people
deboard
don't know
now.
that, I mean,
Yeah, I might have to
They
wait.
come with their own.
That actually never happened.
They come with their own minis, and they're like, "Trash time," and they're like, "Oh, no, we don't sell this."
That's when they got us, dude. Was trash time.
Yeah, exactly. It'll bust you every time.
So what happens? Sorry, taking a drink of my coffee. What happens if you get busted for that?
Oh, they can write you a fine. They can get.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, they can give
We put you in Alaska Airlines jail.
Yeah, you
That's
never
where
fly
that man
Alaska
went.
again.
That's where he went.
Yeah, you never fly in Alaska again with your own alcohol. That's for sure.
Yeah. No, that's crazy. So okay, so you go from Alaska to New York.
Correct.
Did you go there because you had family there?
Actually, no. So I had been down here for a little bit and met somebody that had been stationed at JBLM. And when they were from Jersey. And when they had gotten out, then they had flown back here and got
Gotcha.
me and moved me to the
Boyfriend?
Jersey. Yeah, at the time. And then we got married and all of that.
All right. Still
Trash.
together?
Oh, absolutely not.
Okay.
So, hence the word trash.
Sometimes you just gotta lose them,
You
The
play with
Jersey
trash.
Shore really is the Jersey Shore, and it was around the time.
Was he one of
that
those
was-
guys?
He was so
Really?
very, very,
Gym tan
very
laundry?
much. Yes, very. But it was so weird because he was like 6'4" and like red hair, and it's like you're not Italian, so how are you like a Guido? Like this doesn't make sense.
That's funny.
But he embodied all of the things that were and then that's when I realized like all of Jersey's like this.
Okay.
So when I met people that he went to high school with, I was just like,
It was just all
oh
the same.
fuck, you're all of one. You're all of one.
A little overpowering.
So, yeah, but they were really fun. They were
Okay.
really great to party with and hang out with. But then when it came to do serious life things, it was like, okay, I need to like exit out of this. This isn't gonna work for me. So I found myself in upstate New York. I was working at a tattoo shop there, piercing in an apprenticeship.
Okay. And
I
how
was
old are you at
doing
this
that.
point?
Oh, I don't even know. I have no idea.
Okay.
Don't ask me for time.
But was
I
that
never
your
thought about that.
kind of intro
Probably
to
like
this?
2015.
Yeah, but was this where you started tattooing and stuff? Okay,
yeah.
cool.
So like I'd been in and out of shops for years, just like being in them and getting tattooed and things. But like I never saw myself or had interest necessarily in working in one.
Okay.
I always was artistic and did things in art, but again, my mom was always like, do something like a trade. So
Right.
I have like this echelon of like this long list of things,
Other things.
that, but I mean, I'm so ADHD that it's like, I did this and I've done this and I know this and I know that, but it's like, I never completed any of it.
Gotcha.
And some things I did complete, but it's just like, none of it made me happy.
Right. You kind of start this path. You're like, this is cool for a minute, and then you get bored with it.
Yeah.
And,
So my dad was just like, this kid is gonna kill me. So eventually I found where I was in and where I was at, and I was really happy in the environment, everything that was kind of taking place and the personalities that I was getting to know. And I'm like, oh, like this feels really good.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of stayed with that. And then with that, I got a part-time job and as a dental assistant.
Okay.
Was doing that for a while. And then
Is that easy to get into? Do you have schooling for that?
No, that's the thing. In New
I mean,
York,
most people are like, I'm going to be a dental assistant, right?
That's what the West Coast is like, right?
Right,
And
okay.
Alaska's obviously it's super bizarre. But the East Coast, they're like, because there are all these very amazing, very nice Jewish men.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of them, they're dentists, doctors, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And this very nice Jewish doctor, he was interviewing me for a front desk position. And he says, like, how would you feel about being an assistant? I said, I don't know shit about assisting. I was like, but I can run an autoclave. And he's like, all right. He's like, but what if I teach you? I'm like, you're gonna teach me.
Right.
He's like, we call it training chair side. And I'm like,
All right.
I was like, I'm down. I'm like a little rowdy, but I'm down. Like, let's do it. So
You can hold them down when they
like,
start
if
to
you
move
can
and
handle
stuff.
this, I don't know if you can handle my personality, if this will fit in, if this will work out, but I'm down to try this.
Okay.
So but we did that for a while and that worked. COVID hit and it just was not a good situation there. It was very like apocalyptic.
Yeah, so many people
New
that the stories, we're doing this. This is going to be our 14th episode, I think. We're getting a pretty good run, and I can't tell you how many stories are. And then COVID hit. It's just crazy. It's such a huge part in everyone's life. I mean, that's when he started Creole Soul was during COVID.
Fantastic.
I opened up Creole.
So great.
I was putting it all together during COVID. Everybody's closing down. I'm opening up.
Love it.
But so on that list that you had back there, where was tattooing at?
Well, that would be like one of the most recent, because I would say all the other things, like barista, like the dental assisting, oral surgery, cosmetic surgery assistant, like all those other kind of things.
You did all that stuff.
Yeah, dude.
That's crazy.
So that worst job ever for someone like me.
Right.
Like, give the responsibility of like a nurse to someone who's like, what? I can't do math. Like, I draw pictures. What?
Right.
You want me to be responsible for this life? Like, and pay me not even what you pay a nurse? Nah, get me out of here.
Yeah, it's good. He's going in for a knee operation soon. So
Oh,
you're not going to work.
you're not going to be there, are you?
Be there, are
No,
you?
they get rid of people like me, but the way they do it is they go, we think you're a very nice girl, but you just don't really fit in with the culture. And I'm like, oh, got it. Okay. Like, all right. Did I ask another person like about their tattoo? Did I touch their tattoos again? I'm sorry. Like, seriously, that's how it started going. Like everywhere I'd go. And this one dental place that I had worked at in Renton while I was assisting or while I was apprenticing, however you want to call it.
Mm-hmm.
They fired me because they're like, you just don't fit into our office culture. It was like a bunch of mean girls. And I'm like, doesn't surprise me. Doesn't surprise me at all, Karen. That's cool. Like, I don't really want to fit in here anyways.
Linda, Karen, Linda.
What was wild is they had a whole back bar full of those Lotus energy drinks.
Okay.
So that's how they got all the productivity from all the cheerleader girls that worked there as assistants.
You're just keeping them
They're
hopped up
just
on
like,
energy
they're
drinks.
all drugged up on Lotus all day long, and they're just back there like sipping out of their Stanley cups like all day. And I'm like, oh my God, like, get me the fuck out of here. This is bad.
That's funny.
Why you didn't sip on the stuff, huh?
Fuck no. I'm not gonna drink their Kool-Aid. They thought I was weird. I'm cool.
Not drinking the
Whatever.
Kool-Aid.
No.
The flavor aid. Not doing
For
it.
real.
So during all this time, you're still drawing, you're still artistic.
They
you're
creep
still
on my
pursuing
Instagram
that.
now.
Okay.
They creep on my stories, and it's like, bitch, try to get a tattoo for me now and see what.
That's
No.
funny.
No.
So you started tattooing in New York, and then did you?
No. I started tattooing in Alaska.
Oh, in Alaska.
Yeah, so because when COVID hit, I didn't really know what to do. Like I had rent to pay. I had my son. I'm like, this is a nightmare. Like, what am I gonna do? Because my son's like almost 15, or he is 15 now.
Okay.
And so we went to the island of Hawaii because that's where my parents lived. They still live there. Well, my mom lives there now.
So they went from Alaska to Hawaii.
So yeah, me and my son, we went there.
Okay.
To try and regroup and figure out what we were gonna do. We were gonna stay there. I enrolled him into school there, and he hated it there. He's so country. There's nothing to do. And I'm like, I know it's not Jersey. I know it's not New York.
Not in the city.
We had our whole like routines and things that we would do in New York. And people, he had his best friend. His best friend was Jewish. Like. You come here and there's no Jews. They're gone. Like that was the first thing that I noticed
Where's
when
all
I
the
came
Jews?
here. No, the first thing when I came here and I'm driving down the highway, I'm like, where are the vans going 80 miles an hour with the men and their ringlets? I don't understand. Like, where did they go? Like in the suits, like suit shirts, you know, and they'd be rolled up and they'd be driving and they fucking mob down Paramus Parkway in Jersey. And it's just, that's not here. And I'm like, well, I'm looking for challah bread around to like make French toast. Can't find it anywhere. And I'm like starving. And I'm
no Jewish bakeries.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. No good bagels.
Tell my son, I'm like, this is a mistake. Like we're in Hawaii. What are we going to do? So we go to Alaska, you know, because I get this, you know, opportunity to go up there and apprentice for tattooing.
Okay.
We end up there, same thing, and he's just like, this place sucks.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't like it here either. They're bullying me. I'm different because he's got the East Coast style, and I forgot. Like when you're from a really small town.
Oh yeah.
And a lot of the people that know each other, they know each other from like primary into like whatever the other grades are.
Oh yeah.
And they solidify their little cliques then.
Yep.
And then from there, it continues on to like 5th grade and like high school, and then it's just like. It's ew. And so
I went to school with the same kids from kindergarten to when I graduated high school. I mean, everything from cottage school is what we called it through the high school. And and when a new kid came to town, you knew who the new kid was.
Absolutely.
100% you knew who the new kid was.
They were like, what are those you're wearing? Nikes? He's like, yeah, they're dope. They're, you know, talking about it 'cause that's an East Coast thing.
Right.
And they're like, weird about it. And they're like, why are you wearing jewelry? And he's like, it's a chain. It's nice. It's like real. It's like my mom got it for me. And he's like, they're like, it's super weird. And I'm just like,
kids are cliquey anyways.
And I told him, and I'm like, you know, he'd come after school, like I pick him up and you know, what do you want for dinner kind of a thing. I'm like, I still got to do stuff here at the shop. Like, so he grew up around inside the shops with me. Like we always had like the shops that I worked in, they typically have had sort of a guest spot area.
Okay.
For if a artist wanted to come, they would stay and
That's
they'd
cool.
stay in the shop.
Yeah.
So they had like either like a bed situation with like an extra bathroom for them to like take care of themselves and that kind of thing. It's very accommodating. So knowing that I had a kid, they were like, oh yeah, he can go up there, do his homework, he can draw, play video games, like whatever he wants, help himself to do whatever, like just.
So everyone was
kind.
It was almost like a little family unit almost.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, families, it's a real thing. Tattoo families, that's how it should be, like the industry. Like,
sure.
If you go more old school, that's the values of it.
Right.
So that's what attracted me. It was just.
Well, it's artists, group of artists too, right?
Right. So it's very safe feeling. I mean, but not all shops are the same. Everybody's different. And that's something that I learned too, that not all shops are the same and they're not all ran the same.
Right.
Doesn't make one right over the other. It's just different way of doing business.
Different
and
cultures,
so it was just, So that's been an interesting thing for me to learn.
So you started in Alaska. What brought you back? It wasn't the guy from Jersey, right? That we went to JBLM.
No.
What brought you back over to?
So my son was crying
area?
all the time. He was crying. He was miserable. And for me, my dad was the type of person where he was so invested in his own life and his own pursuits that he found pleasure in, that I resented him for it. So I never wanted to make that kind of decision for my son. I never wanted to do something that I was so all in on that it chose. I chose that over him.
Yeah.
Because I knew how that would feel.
Sure.
And I knew what I was stepping into. So the mentor that I had was exiting tattooing, and he had been there for over 20 years. And there was this large, massive client base that he had built over that whole time of his career.
That's great.
And I was stepping into that.
Yeah.
With me not having to build all of that.
Wow.
And so it was like this insane blessing, right? But my kid was miserable. So it's like, what do I do? What do I choose to do? And housing there was really expensive, trying to get into an apartment. So things were crazy. Like it was just not a good situation. So I really had to ask my son, I'm like, what, if anything can make
in Alaska?
I asked my son, like, if anything can make you happy right now, like, tell me what it is. Like, doesn't matter what you just tell me. And I'm like, if we could live anywhere, where would you want to live? And he's like, I would want to live in Washington. And I
Had
was
he
like,
been here before?
Yeah. And I was like,
Okay.
fuck. I'm like, God. I was like,
Back to the rain.
so I was like, so I had to be careful, you know. And I'm like, okay, what are your what's your intention? Why do you want to move to Washington? He's
Right.
like, well, I've never lived in the same state as my dad,
Okay.
being older. And I'm like, ugh.
So the dad went from Jersey to here.
Well, no, that was his stepdad.
Oh, stepdad. Okay,
Right.
sorry.
Yeah.
So what's the state of mind now? Your son's state of mind now that he's in Washington.
Like, how does he feel now? He's
Yeah.
happy. This is where he wanted to be. He
Right.
wanted to be here, and I made the right decision for him to be here, so he could be hanging out with his dad and do. Because the way I looked at it is, you know, boys get older, and when they're younger, they kind of need their moms, and then
Yeah.
when they start to get into those teenage years, they need their dads.
Yeah, for sure.
And the shit he's been. Girlfriends and all this stuff, it's like, no, you can talk to your dad about that. You know what I mean? So I'm very like happy that it's worked out the way that it has. It just could have been a lot less, you know.
Chaotic.
Yeah, like hurtful in a way.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
because like, you know how sometimes those personal things can go down
Sure.
and they don't really have to be so, but sometimes people make it so, and
Sure.
it's just like, for what? But
So
yeah.
how do you like it here?
Took too long.
As long
Wait, hold on. How do you like it here?
Exactly. Oh man, I'm trying my best.
Me
I
too.
really am. I'm
Is it the weather? Is it the people? Is it the...
well, it's certainly not the weather, because the weather has its
Well, we
perks.
know who it is.
It's certainly not the weather.
Yeah.
You know, because it's like you have your rainy days, but then you have your sunny days. You
It
have
makes
your
the sunny
cold
days
days.
really nice,
Yeah,
too.
it really does. Take all that vitamin D and all your vitamins. If you need to go crank it in a tanning bed for a while,
Yeah,
just
yeah.
sure. Like there's things that you can do.
Sure.
You can get on a plane for $100 and go to Phoenix for a weekend. Like you're fine.
Yeah.
You're fine.
Mhm.
But I think when it comes to like liking it here, like I don't really have. I just work.
You
That's
just
all I
work.
do. I just work.
Okay.
I focus on my business. I focus on tattooing.
Mhm.
I focus on the next thing that I'm bringing into what I'm doing with my business here and with Local Roots.
Yeah.
Um,
How long you been here now?
I've been here about 2.5 years.
Okay. It seemed like last night you knew a few people that were up here, so
Yeah,
you've
so
got some friends, right?
right. So some of those people I have tattooed.
Okay.
So that's how I've,
It's a
how
great way
I've
to
met
make
them.
friends.
It is. It's a great way to
Yeah,
meet people.
for sure.
Acquaintances. You know, they're acquaintances. I have 2 girls that have become my friends, and so like one, like we went into Capitol Hill and did like a day, like a girls' brunch day, which ended up turning into more of a girls' dinner night.
That can happen.
Like that's kind of how that went. And you know, the other girl, she does hair. She's gonna do my hair. Just little things like that. So
Right.
like, yeah, your clients do eventually like you find ones that you really vibe well with, and you know.
How do you like
become
being at Local
friends.
Roots?
I love it there.
Yeah.
I love the environment. I love the vibe.
I have not been in there yet. My wife actually got some work done from one of the artists there. I can't remember her name, but I haven't been in the
There's
shop
quite
yet.
a few. He has
Yeah.
quite a few, but there's changes. Some changes, really exciting changes coming up.
You want to talk
So-
about it?
Oh no, no.
No.
Those are under lock and key.
How many tattoo artists is in the play?
Oh shit. Again, I don't do math. I draw pictures.
I'm guaranteed it can't be double
So
digits.
there's
Yeah, but like 3 artists in one
probably
space
like
is a lot.
6.
Yeah, so 6 is a lot.
Something like that. You know, and so things are they're changing a little bit. Things are going to be, you know, switching up a little bit for summer here. You know, some things are going to be being done differently. I'm excited about it. But what I love most about being there is when I have a question about something, I have someone that has 18 years of experience that I can go to.
Now, is that the
And-
owner of
yeah,
Local
Mig.
Roots?
I can go to Mig and I can be like, Mig, how would I approach this? How would I do this? Like, how would I do that? He's like, oh, just like this. I hear it, you know, shows me. He's like, hey, now try that and see how that works, and then come back to me. So I have somebody and instead of me, you know, because for these past few years where I've been other places, I've had to like get on the phone and call my old mentor or my other old mentor who's in Tennessee, or, you know, other artists I know that are in New York, and be like, okay, you guys, like, how would you do this? Like, how would you direct me to do this? And I'm literally being taught from different coasts.
Yeah.
You know, to here.
It's good. You built
And-
that. You built that book, those relationships, people that you can reach out to.
Absolutely. That's definitely my network. And they've all become like my very close friends. So it is like a family in a way, you
Nice.
know?
So do you find in art, right? I'm particularly not an artist. I mean, I've done some music and
Yeah,
stuff
that's
in
a
the
good
past.
question. I think you're going with the question I was going to ask, but go ahead.
Okay, we'll see. people change, right?
Yeah.
I know, like for me, writing music, when I was really young, my stuff was really angry.
Okay.
You know, I was getting things out. You know,
Okay,
I was processing things. As I got older, like there was a point where I didn't curse in my music anymore because I had kids and I wanted my kids to be able to listen to the music.
Right.
Nobody noticed I omitted curse words, but all the lyrics and everything for me had changed. My attitude, my point of view of life, everything had changed.
Right.
Does that reflect in your work? Do you see, I mean, other than growth, right? Growth is one thing, but actual like perspective and inspiration, and does that all change in what you are? I know you're doing what the client wants a lot of times, but are you doing what?
My ADHD wants to unpack this in like 3 different ways.
Okay, go ahead.
And I'm like, help me circle back to
I told you
all
I'd
the
pull it out of
points.
you. I told you I'd pull it out of
So,
you. Was that what you were thinking?
No.
Okay. Then you're next.
so let's start with like the first one that I can remember right off the top of my head because I'm going to forget. Growth in like your work. Okay, so that takes time. It takes a lot of time to level up your skill set, and so that it has been frustrating me for a very long time. Why? Because while I'm working with the clients that I already have, and then I have to so for example, I have to draw up their projects. Then I have to draw up new projects that are available. Then I have to book those projects, right? But then continually making new things.
Right.
I'm not able to work on my skill set to elevate it because I'm doing all of this.
Yeah, that makes sense.
To make rent, to make booth rent, you know what I'm saying? So it's such a stressful environment because I'm doing it on my own. I don't have like a husband, a partner, a family member, someone that I live with. You know.
Sorry, it's an inside joke. Camp got in a lot of trouble for using the word partner one time.
Oh, seriously? Okay, I'll specify. I don't have a boyfriend, so that way.
That's a good thing.
So I'm doing it by myself and have been doing it by myself. And so it's very tiring having all of those responsibilities on you. And then at the same time being like, I really want to learn how to stipple shade this way, or I really want to learn to
pursue
do these other techniques.
Yeah.
And then you can't. And then you have someone who's 20 years old come up to you and go, why does it look like that? And it's like, bitch, like your parents pay your rent, like, you know, that kind of shit.
Right.
So it's hard not to have that resentment when you're just trying to like, okay, I'm an adult.
Yeah.
Smile.
Adulting
smile.
sucks.
Like, you know, exactly. But
Yeah.
you just take everything with a grain of salt. You just kind of move on. But it's hard sometimes. But yeah, so that's where I'm at when it comes to like with my growth. It's slow because I'm trying to do things like all on my own and I don't have support for that. So
you gotta keep the steady income coming, the steady things.
And then the growth. So now if I were to have support, that's different because then your growth explodes. You're able to really, because you know exactly where you want to focus. You know what you want to do. You know where you're taking it.
It's tough making money tattooing, right? I mean,
it really is. It is because
I know
you
several
have to,
artists, and it took them years and years. Really, they didn't make much money until they got their own shops, and then they got other people coming in. You know?
So you have. Okay, so now this is another whole other 3-layered thing.
Sorry, I'm spinning you off.
Okay.
I'm spinning you off.
It's okay. So, if you go from by like old school standards, shops and all of that, but I feel like there's a new school way of approaching it that's really bringing in money, and that's becoming your own brand on Instagram, becoming your own personality.
That's a different thing, man.
Learning how to do that.
Yeah.
Learning how to
That's what we're doing here with the
capture and
podcast
create
too.
your own community. So how do you create your own community of people, you know, that want to listen to what you have to say? Because there's so many people out there that are trying to do it. And then there are others who are doing it the right way, who are succeeding and they're reaching people.
Right.
And then there are people who are just not doing it right and not reaching people.
I'm still not doing it. I'm trying.
But there are
We reached you.
There's courses
we're
and
doing
people.
all right.
But that was for my desire of networking, right? Networking.
Yeah.
So I put out several ads to try and find people who wanted to help me in my like journey of trying to learn how to network and whatever. And I met several people. I met you guys. I've met 2 other gentlemen. One works for the Ironworkers Union. And he also does videography, right?
Yeah.
And then he has a friend that does videography.
Yeah.
So they've been coming in and helping take more professional pictures of me. And I've been trying to figure out like, okay, like, you know, if I kind of get them to help me take some other maybe like still shots of myself, it's just all this branding things that like you're kind of learning. And then like using ChatGPT as like your your guide to basically explain to you, like,
Hamp loves the AI, writes everything for him.
love it. I love AI. I love AI
when I was a
so
kid. I
much.
could have graduated high
Dude,
school.
it's wild. It's so crazy. It's so crazy. So I use that to basically tell me, like, okay, like, what do I want my 3 pillars of content to be? Like, who, like, what do I want to reflect? Like, what do I want to talk about? What do I want people to know me for? And because it's not about me.
Right.
It's not about me. We're on this podcast. Yes, we're talking about me so people can get to know me.
Sure.
But it's not about me. Tattoos aren't about me. They're about everybody else and their story.
Right.
And I think that's why I'm happy at the place where I'm at in this, like, alone stage where I'm alone, because I'm connecting so much with the people that I do art with that, like, they are becoming my friends, and I am able to give them good advice, or I am able to listen to their story and like be like, okay, like, we have a similar path in life sometimes, like those kind of connections, you know, like, so it doesn't feel wasted. It doesn't feel like I'm lost. It feels like there's purpose. And that's something I feel like people really, like, have a hard time with, is, like, finding their purpose.
We were just talking about this. It's funny. We did a couple podcasts where this came up, and then just recently, a good friend of mine who's a great artist. I always thought he should be a tattoo artist. He's actually in the insurance business back in Nevada, but he went to school for graphic arts. Garrett, he'll probably listen to this. Phenomenal artist. So recently, he's gotten back into art, and he started a Facebook group, you know, where you can local artists or just artists in general can go on and kind of share their stuff. It's their passion, right? And we got into this whole thing on there about purpose and what drives your purpose and what defines it and everything. But yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
No,
It's just has come up several times recently. It's funny.
Because purpose is it's very important that you live your life with intention, and then it's driven by purpose.
Yeah.
There's a whole book. It's called The Purpose-Driven Life.
Right.
Like, I'm pretty sure that exists. I've seen that in my audiobooks.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just fucking around. No, so that and the law of attraction. So it's like, if you use both of those I don't want to say like modules or whatever, but
Almost guidelines.
right.
Yeah.
So it's like magnetism. I mean, it's a science.
Yeah.
So same thing with law of attraction. It is a science.
Right.
And it works. It's social proof. So you learn how to work in and out of business professionally.
Right.
You learn how to use your law of attraction. You learn how to use your social media. You learn how to use your things like the correct way. But what I have to get down to that really bothers me.
Go
and
ahead.
I'm saying,
Go ahead.
the people who have achieved the algorithm of branding and marketing, and yet they hold no ethics and no morals when it comes to their shit.
Okay.
Just say that.
And you heard it right here at Stick Loung podcast.
Because just because you have a platform and people see you and think that what you're showing is real,
Right.
a lot of the time it's not real. And then you're
That's
stuck
a
with
huge thing.
having to keep it going as
Yeah.
if it is real.
Yeah.
I don't like that.
Yeah, I agree
So
with you.
whatever you're doing, you have to have that forethought knowledge that, okay, that's something that I'm going to be in 20 years. That's something that's still going to resonate with me and all, like, way later. That's
Yeah.
still going to be a part of who I am.
Yeah.
You know, and to where that's not going to make or break you and not make you look foolish later,
Well,
where
it's
it's
funny,
dead
if
in the water.
It sounds like you're kind of going through the similar thing that we're going through right now, you know, with trying to create a brand, trying to
Right.
get the word out, trying
Put our
to
heads together.
I know it's hard. It's really hard. Like I spend a lot of time I've never been a social media guy.
It's mindset.
It is.
You can't like dig into those neural pathways of it's really hard. It's really hard. It's really hard. Because when you do that, it's like creating a block, you know, because sometimes solutions are very simple and it's just figuring out what they are.
Okay.
So
I
it's
like it.
like mindset's a really big thing. It's very important.
I agree
I've
with that.
gotten through some really traumatic things, like for when I first came down here, and I don't need to talk about them because that doesn't need to be a
Sure.
thing. I'm not like a victim. I'm not whatever. Like I'm a badass. And
Right.
so it's when you really control your shit, meaning your mind, your emotions, your mentality, your perspective on things, and
Yeah.
you look at it from other people's perspectives and you take ego out of everything,
Yep.
then the lot comes clear. And then you're able to really communicate and you'll see and you'll start picking it up like on other people, you know, who's ego driven, who's whatever. And then you can kind of see who aligns with what
Right.
and kind of what you want to be around. Because honestly,
It's getting beneath the surface
Right.
and past the face of
right,
it.
because
yeah.
what's the saying? Like you want to be like the 5 people that or you become like the 5 people you surround yourself with the most.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Right. So trying to elevate through that. So there's stages of that. So that's why like you shed old friends, you shed relationships with
Yeah.
people that no longer align with you because that's going to be your mentality. That's going to be how you do
Yeah.
your day every day.
Hamp and I talk about that all the time. Like we try not to keep negative people around us.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't need the negativity. We got,
Right.
we have a different outlook on things. That's why we're doing all this stuff that we're doing together. We both have
Right.
the same outlook, you know, and,
Right.
and we want to surround ourselves with the same type of people.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, same. And so it's interesting because I feel like people that really do, even if they are going through something and they find a way to view it in a positive light, it just, their energy is different.
Yeah.
Their energy is different and the outcomes for whatever they're going through are different.
No,
So
I've been through a lot
different kind of
recently, and I
energy.
can completely agree with you 100%. You have to take whatever you're given and spin it and utilize it. And yeah,
Right.
I mean, I agree with you. I do.
Yeah.
So let's get back on tattooing.
Yeah.
What was not the first tattoo that you got, but the first tattoo that you gave?
Oh, let's see here.
How old were you and what was it?
I gave. This was probably 20.
Was it like a
19.
race car motor and a Bic pen, or was it legit?
No, it was actually really funny. So I was at this place called BPU in Alaska. They have this really nice like A-frame chalet cabin house off of the Palmer-Wasilla Highway. And Charlie's one of the piercers there. And he also has a, I like to call it an apprentice graveyard leg.
Okay.
Because he has had everyone that's ever wanted to tattoo and learn and be at BPU, Body Piercing Unlimited and Tattoo, like work on his leg. And
Okay, that's funny.
so, and it's I fucking love it. So one of the first tattoos was he's like, okay, so he gets up on the bed and these are grown ass men. Like my mentor, he like if I can just paint a picture, like a mental picture of what like my mentor looked like, maybe that might help set the mood a little bit. So Lakeland's like this 6'2" tall guy with like these kind of dreaded, kind of frizzy hair. He wore these like coverall, like paint coveralls all the time and giant ass bunny boots.
Okay.
And he was just stomping around all
say
over.
bunny boots?
Bunny boots. And he was like,
I think you have some of
wear
those,
his,
don't
you?
he'd do this. He'd do this.
Okay,
And
yeah.
he, that was his thing. Funniest fucking dude ever. Hilarious.
Yeah.
So he's there. I have got the machine and everything set up. Charlie gets on the table and he puts his leg out. And I'm like, oh, I know whose that is. And I'm like, can I take a picture? And he's like, after yours is on there. And I'm like, oh, God. So he kissed me. I look back now and I'm like, he gave me the hardest fucking one to do. Dick. Like, it's so hard. So he gave me this, like the horseshoe, like the piercing.
Okay.
Like you see, like it's like a horseshoe with the two balls on
Yep,
the end.
yep.
So I had to put that on him. Oh my God. I got a picture. I'll have to give it to you and show it to you.
Because you're talking about radiuses and
Well,
circles.
it's a half circle,
Yeah.
half circle, two circles.
But that's a tough thing to freehand, right?
I had a stencil.
Oh, you had a stencil,
It was, oh God.
Still hard.
So it was funny. So I asked him about it the other day, a couple weeks ago, and I'm like, hey, like I'm gonna do this thing, and they're asking whatever about pictures for this. Can I have one? And he's like, sure. So he sent me a picture. I'm like, oh my God, that's so bad. It's like sharp edges. It's like, doesn't make any sense. It just was so ugly. And I'm like, Charlie, I'm so sorry. He's like, well, it's not the best, but it's not the worst. And I'm like,
Got worse on my
fuck,
leg.
dude.
The
But
guy
it's-
that has done a lot of the stuff. I don't have much, but did my stuff. He has on his leg, the inside of his calf here. It's his scratch pad. He
Nice.
practices his own stuff on his leg. So if he pulls his pant leg up, he can show you like, yeah, I've been working on this kind of shading
The
here.
other
been
place,
doing
yeah,
this.
the other place that I went to finish it, because I was there for like a year, and then with my son, we came down here, and I was doing this crazy oral cosmetic surgery job, not ever thinking I would ever go into tattooing. Because that's what was paying my rent.
Right.
And I'm like, how am I going to get back into tattooing at this situation? During
Sure.
it was the whole thing. Anyways, but it all aligned eventually. But when I was in this place, this one girl, she was tattooing herself, and I'm like, huh. She's like, have you ever tattooed yourself? I'm like, not really.
I was gonna ask, yeah.
I was like, well, maybe I should. I was like, sure. So I did it. I'm like, that actually is like better than getting it done from someone else.
So what'd you do?
So it's ugly. I'm just kidding. So I did this. I did this Japanese.
Oh, that's not bad. That's pretty good.
Well, I look at that now and I see everything wrong with it.
Yeah, sure.
know what I
sure.
mean?
I couldn't do that.
So it's absolutely terrible. And then for my knee, I thought, oh, this would be a great idea, and it's not. So I have to like go through, and I'm like, how the fuck am I gonna fix this, and I'm like, oh God. So it's just
And you went all the way down the front there too?
no, not down. It's to here.
Oh, that's what I'm saying.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
how'd you that's tough to even see.
Well, I mean, not really. It's my leg, so I have it
Yeah,
up, and I'm
okay,
just
okay.
like, it's not horrible.
And you do that on your leg?
What?
You did that on your leg?
Yeah, I did. I did these two in a shop, and then I did this at my friend's house.
That's not bad. It's not
I
bad.
see how she get it on her leg upside down.
Dude, it was really so. The eye, honestly, I kept trying to figure it out at my friend's house, and I'm like drawing it on, and he's like, "No, it's still crooked, dude." And I was like, "We're drinking," and I'm like hanging out, and I'm like, "No," I have it right now. So it's taking me hours, and I came like, "Hey, now look at it now," and he's like, "No, it's still crooked, man." Like, I don't
Crooked in and like be like this.
So I'm like, then you fix it. So he's trying to like.
Is he a
redraw
tattoo
this
artist?
Well, he's retired.
Okay.
So he's trying to like, telling me where to draw these half circles for my knee for it to like line up so it doesn't. So I was like, I got so frustrated with it. And I'm like, I think it looks fine. And he's like, it's still a little crooked. I'm like, you're perfect. Start arguing because he's an old piercer too.
Right.
So I'm like, you're just being a perfectionist. You don't want me to succeed. So I'm like, go in there and I start tattooing it and I get it all done and I look and I stand up and he looks at me and I go, it's still crooked.
Yeah, you were right.
Yeah, you're right.
Cross
And that's how
eye.
it is typically with John. John is always right. So.
That's funny.
Yeah, I'm looking at that. I'm not an artist, but that would be tough to draw from that angle.
Yeah.
Upside down?
Yeah, for sure.
Like, oh, man, she's
I was
good.
having a great night, like some beers and just,
Right.
hanging out with my buddies and
Like, I got this.
drawing on my stuff. Like, I can do this. This is great.
So how many of your friends have you tattooed just like for fun?
Oh,
A lot?
for fun?
I mean, like, like that. You're drinking beers and you're like, oh, you know what? Like, you should have
That's been
this.
myself. I don't have friends. No, I'm just kidding.
Okay.
I work
Fair
by
enough.
myself and I'm like 38. So,
I know two other people like that. Don't worry. So,
Yeah.
I'm like,
Wait, are they in this room?
No.
Okay.
No.
I was gonna say, I work a lot. You're my friend.
No, I'm just talking about 38 and no friends.
Oh, gotcha.
it's
gotcha.
like my friends that I have, like two of my closest friends, they live in New York. So they don't live here.
Okay.
And then my other friend lives in Kentucky.
Mhm.
I have another really close friend lives in Tennessee.
Yep.
And I have another friend that lives in Alaska. Well, three other friends that live in Alaska. So they're all spread out and none of them are here. And then I have a couple friends in Hawaii on Big Island. So
You guys visit each other, get together, fly, hang out, do a weekend? No.
we
nothing like that.
we just talk on FaceTime. And like
Yeah.
when I go to Alaska, I'll see them.
Okay.
If I go to Hawaii, I'll see them. So like I'm leaving on the 14th to go see everybody. So I'll see them then.
That's good.
If I end up going for work to go to New York, I'll see my friends.
Mhm.
So it happens. It's just not like all the time. So my friend, and so that's why I'd say Washington has been more of a challenge for me in the social department because people here, like you've heard like the Seattle freeze.
Yeah, we talked about that
So
on one of our podcasts.
When
actually.
I came here originally, like I had my New York accent was still really thick. So because my mom is very New Yorker, so
Okay.
she already has a thick accent. So I
Can you break it out?
already.
Can we get a little bit of the New York accent?
I would have to have more beers. Than okay. But yeah.
3 more beers, please.
Yeah. No, my buddy John will tell you, as soon as she gets drunk, the New York comes out. So
I've never even been to New York.
it's a great place.
Love New York.
It's a great place.
I should fly there all the time.
It's so much fun. I love
Yeah.
it. And you're never hungry.
See, I'm not
The food is
I'm
always
not a
good.
city guy.
The food is good. The guys are hot. It's great.
Well, then if there's
It's
hot
awesome.
guys, I'm going.
That's why I was there.
Wait, for the guys or because you were a hot guy?
Because I'm looking for a hot guy. I know.
Okay, all right.
They got beautiful women too.
No, they're just
With-
bossy.
See, that's why men here don't like me. They're like, this bitch is aggressive.
Bossy, bossy, bossy.
They're like, why is she so? They asked me, he's like, why are you so aggressive? And I'm like, what do you mean?
You telling me a woman from the South isn't bossy?
No,
Come on.
No.
Come on, dude.
no. He's like, hey, baby.
That's so chill.
Chill.
That sounds nice.
Yeah, no.
This sounds like non-threatening.
No, no.
Yeah.
Hey, baby, how you doing?
Yeah.
That's how we do it.
How you mom and
How
them?
your mom and them doing? That's how we do that.
That's how he won me over.
We don't be like, bitch, come here. God damn it. Didn't I tell you getting there? I don't have to ask for anything to eat. It's already on the stove.
They're spoiled. Spoiled.
My wife spoiled
love
me.
it.
Yes, she-
Aw.
yeah, so, yeah,
So the South is much different than you.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Africa, Australia. Give me another country right quick.
What are we talking about?
Yeah, I'm lost.
Louisiana is another country.
I got you. Yeah. He's making a shirt right now.
It's a-
Louisiana, its own country.
Its own country.
I like it.
Yeah, I mean,
I like it.
yeah. So yeah. Tone down a little bit. All right?
No.
Is this another job I get fired from?
No, I'm talking
Seriously?
about after these mics. You know, you're like, yeah, she's bossy. You know, why she's so aggressive? You know, tone it down a little bit. It's okay. It's gonna be okay.
She's gonna fight you. We wait till the beer bottle's empty. I'm gonna step out of this room.
I guess you can take the girl out of Jersey, but you can't take the Jersey out of the girl.
Yeah.
So you grew up in Alaska, but you went there and you just really adopted the culture, or what?
Of where?
New York, Jersey.
So so here's the deal. My mom's very New Yorker from
And
New
she's
York.
from there, but lived in Alaska.
Right.
Okay.
But every
So
year,
your household was very
New Yorker.
gotcha.
My mom ran the house.
Yeah.
She was the boss.
Right.
We know.
I love it. So
I have one of those somewhere, but
yeah, oh,
I
it's
gotta find
great, super great. It's very accurate. But we would go every year in the summers and stuff to go and visit like her family and like my cousins. She was like the youngest of like 11 kids.
Oh wow.
So I had like aunts and uncles
big family.
for days, and they were really fun to go and see. So I spent a lot of time with my aunts and my uncles. And my one aunt was a painter. She was an artist. She did a lot of murals and things for the museums there in the town of Liberty and other areas in Middletown and whatnot. Her artwork's on another level. She did oil paintings, portraits.
So art runs in the family.
Yes, it does.
Nice.
Her other sister, Chris, beautiful portrait paintings that she would do of like the kids and family members and things.
That's cool.
Just very, very multi talented in that area, but trained. For me, I'm like, hey, let's smoke some Marvs, drink some Red Bulls, and tattoo some people. Completely different lifestyle.
That's more art, I think. You gotta have the Marlboros. You gotta have the.
They were the refined version of, you know. They were So they were really, really great people and very New Yorkers, very heavy accent, very like everything is very East Coast. Like that's the culture.
You can't make French toast without the Jewish bread.
Well, that's different. So where I live, so with my son, so I got into that. Well, my mom went to an all Jewish girls nursing school.
Okay.
So we already had a little bit of that in the house with the way that she spoke. She spoke a lot of like Yiddish. And so I was comfortable with that. She'd make me like matzo ball soup. She'd make me a lot of these like kind of Jewish like potato like latkes. Like she'd make me like Jewish food.
Right.
I didn't know that that's what it was until I went to New York. And
Right.
I'm like, why does everything feel so like at home over here? And I'm like, oh, it's because my mom. This makes sense now.
Yeah.
So then when I started working for these Jewish doctors, I got more involved in these Jewish communities and started shopping at their stores and buying their things.
Knowing the culture a little bit more. Like
My son's best friend, having been Jewish, I don't know, it just made sense.
Yeah.
It was very comfortable and I just learned how to cook a certain way.
Gotcha.
And that was, coming over here, it's just different. It's not a bad thing. It's just
I
different.
No, it definitely is.
It's different for sure.
Well, I mean, I grew up in, the desert, the West, right? I went from Nevada to Arizona. When I got out here, I'm like, where's the good Mexican food? There's no good Mexican food out here. It was a struggle.
That's why I got Creole Soul. I had to have this.
Yeah, he opened his own kitchen so he could have
That's so
Southern
nice.
food.
I just couldn't survive out here with that stuff. If you had a choice, would you prefer to have your own shop?
Oy vey. I've been asked this before. I've been asked this a lot.
Is it the idea of the overhead or the idea of the other tattoo artist?
It's just the responsibility of all the bullshit.
Sure.
And I know there's just a lot of bullshit. And
What about when your son is grown and, you don't have that?
if I could conjure my perfect partner, it would be someone that has been in the industry for a very long time, that knows more than me and that can handle all the really difficult business side of things.
Sure.
And then lets me twinkle over in a corner and like draw pretty pictures.
Right.
And is like, oh, like there's people coming in, you might want to talk. And then I get to talk and like, make everybody happy.
Yeah.
Like that would be like my ultimate like win at life.
Kind of be a partner. Maybe you got a business partner, but you're the talent kind of thing.
Right. Exactly. I'm not,
Camp, you want to open a tattoo shop?
Might.
I
She still hadn't answered it.
So I'm not saying no, I don't want to. I'm just saying that would be a shared responsibility that I would want with someone else that
Experience.
has a lot of drive and that has a lot of ambition. And I haven't met very many men in the West Coast that have that.
I know, right?
Because they look at that and they go, "You're too aggressive," and it's like, okay, all right.
You
like-
gotta have drive. I got a friend who's dating a guy. He has no drive. Even if you pick it from park and put it in D, he has no drive at all.
Sounds like he needs a Viagra. That's terrible.
I don't know nothing about that.
We talked about that on another
Well,
podcast.
I mean, he's parking and driving, it's still in drive. Like, I don't know. That sounds like a personal problem for that man.
So, I mean, but, drive is everything. You got to have the ambition. You gotta,
Oh, yeah, for sure.
You just can't say, I'm going to do it. Everybody can say, I'm going to do it. Even
Oh,
a 2-year-old
absolutely.
can say, I'm
It's your
going
I
to do
think
it.
saying I'm going to do it is better than saying I want to do
I
it.
think it's really important that when you decide you're going to do something, you keep it the fuck to yourself. You
Yeah.
don't tell it to other people.
That's right.
Yeah.
That is absolutely right.
Yeah.
You,
Proof is in the pudding, right?
you keep your whatever thought pattern, because people steal your idea.
Oh, yeah.
And
Absolutely.
then also, I think I told you, I said, you tell somebody your idea, they'll pray against you that it'll never happen.
Or they'll tell you
Yeah.
it's open source, whatever intellectual property, and steal it right out from underneath
Steal it
you,
right
whatever
from
it is.
underneath
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
And
for
then
sure.
use that to step themselves up. So it's, each and every kind of person or archetype, if you will, is here under
word.
our sun.
Mhm.
And it's, who do you want to be in the game that we're playing in life? And how do you find the people that you're trying to call in energetically wise, to
Sure.
align with?
Yeah. No, I
That's
agree.
really what it is.
Mhm. It's
So-
like you said, law of attraction. So you're bringing
Yeah.
to you, right? I think
Right.
it has to do with how you act, how you present yourself, the people you put yourself around, your ideals, your drive. I think all of that plays into it, right? And
Right.
you're gonna have people work your way into your life that don't fit those,
Right.
and they're going to what do they call it? The energy vampire, right?
Yeah.
They try and kind of glom onto you and steal your loosh of what you got going on, but you got to keep those people away and keep
A
going.
lot of that's just negativity and like how they perceive things.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Um,
mean, I agree. Solo. I Creole Soul solo.
Yeah.
Stick Lounge, Joe and I don't need anybody else. I don't want anybody to say, "Oh, I helped him do this,"
Right.
or "I helped him do that." I did all this
on your
solo.
own, yeah.
So I don't want no gratification for anybody else.
Right.
If I'm gonna do something and get accomplished on it, I'm gonna do it on my own.
Right.
Or Stick Lounge together, we're gonna do it. Joe and I are gonna team up together, but we don't want no outside help to come in and say, "Yeah, I helped those guys when they first started out."
Unless there's an
Right.
anonymous donor out there that wants to give us like $250,000.
Yeah, now, if you want to give me if you want to help, we have a nonprofit organization.
Do have a nonprofit.
If you want to help us out, please help us out. Okay, we are in need of help when it comes down
HAMP
to.
has a nonprofit.
I hung out with a guy for about 36 hours a couple days ago.
36 hours. Very, all
Okay,
right.
that was the cutoff of where
Gotcha.
I was like, I really don't. I don't know what to
And
think of
we're
this.
done.
Yeah. He asked me because he knew that my housemate was in tech. He's like, "Would you ask him for $50,000 to invest in my business?" And I'm like, "I don't know you."
That's
He's
weird.
like, "Well, someone already's invested $100K," and I'm like, "Okay, that's nice. I'm gonna smoke this cigarette over here, and good luck with that."
Yeah,
like
yeah.
just the approach of it. And I mentioned that to Katie last night, and when we were at the Stick Lounge, literally like I told her the story, and she's like, "What?" And I'm like, "Yeah." I was like, "He's this kid. He's doing good for himself, but he's kind of been on other people." A little bit. And it's like I just saw that.
There's a lot of people that
What?
they have no problem asking for a
And they
handout.
call me aggressive. You know what I mean? It's like, okay.
I don't do it on
About
your own.
land.
You know, I mean, I don't want anybody to give me anything if I don't need it. But,
Exactly.
I'll
Oh,
figure it out on my
well,
own. But if you want to be generous about it, hey, that guy got good morals. He's trying to do this and they're trying to do that.
Well, like
the
with
Stick Lounge.
Lanyap, right? I
Yeah.
mean, that's you feeding the homeless.
Yeah, I feed
that's
the
not
homeless.
that's not
all the time.
that's not going into
I'll
the
help
business.
you do that if you invite me. If you
I-
invite me and let me know when you're doing that, I would love to come and help you do that.
When I do it though, it's rough. It's early in the morning because
Like how early?
2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning.
Like a.m.?
Yeah.
Oh, I can do those hours as long as you were like, 9 a.m. I'd be like, yo, I'm
Oh, no.
sleeping.
No.
Like I work.
I go to bed at 5 a.m., so we're good.
I function on these like really bizarre tattooer hours. So
gotcha.
2, 3 a.m. I'm awake. I'm good. Let's go. Let's get it.
Yeah,
But
he
like,
loads-
Because everybody
his truck
who's
and-
everybody who's out that's homeless are out 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning looking for something to eat. So
aw.
that's when I do.
Okay, when you do, I want to go.
There you go.
I'm
You
not.
heard her, huh,
I
Joe?
want to go.
So,
Hit the wrong button.
and I'll be doing it until I die.
I love
feeding
it.
hoes,
Very
you know,
cool.
So.
Okay.
I was like, Hamp, I'm gonna go with you because I go at 2 a.m. No, sorry. I'm a construction guy. My hours start at
But
6
you
a.m.
have kids though too.
I do.
You have
Yes.
kids. So
I want to go. I actually when I wanted to go was we were out of town, but Thanksgiving and Christmas
Yeah.
I really wanted to go
Yeah.
to. We had some friends that owned a place in downtown Seattle, and every Thanksgiving we go do the thing. You know, he gives away backpacks and stuff, but they owned a club down there, and they were doing the same thing: jackets, sleeping bags. They had like
oh, nice. Yeah.
30 turkeys. You know,
Oh,
we're
wow.
shredding them all and doing the thing, and my daughters were bussing tables, and it's good stuff. You know, you need to do that. So
Everybody got to eat, you know.
everybody's got to eat. For
Everybody
sure.
has to eat.
Absolutely.
You know.
And it's
Everybody's
amazing when
gotta
you see how
feel
much
some
waste
love,
there is
too.
sometimes. Yeah, that too.
I really feel like people need connection. I feel like a lot of people need connection and they're not getting connection because they're just feeling judged so much.
yeah.
And
That's
then
true.
they're put in that situation and and a lot of these people, like someone that had broken into one of the shops that I had been working at, and I had asked, clearly she had a drug problem and she had an issue. She was like hallucinating. And I asked her, I'm like, well, where are you from? She's like, oh, I'm from like Idaho, like Oregon. And like,
This is the girl that broke into the shop?
Yeah, she wasn't even from here.
Right.
And I'm like, how did you get here? She's like, well, they put me on, I got on a bus and then they like brought me here. And they told me that when I got off the bus. And so then I looked into that and like
This is-
other, you guys are
Other
aware of all
states,
of the
yeah.
states like busing people in and
Yep. They do that here.
and so like I feel
Do
really
that too
bad for
here.
these people.
Yeah.
Because it's like, and then they're treated the way they are by the system. So it's kind of like
Right.
I have a soft spot in my heart for it because nobody deserves to be treated that way.
Yeah.
Addiction is addiction, but it doesn't mean they're not human,
Sure.
Yeah. So
Everybody's got their demons.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, hey, I want to get back on you.
Okay.
Ask her about
Okay.
how she get her clients, because that's what I was about to ask her. So
Oh,
how do
ask
you find clients?
So I mainly use Instagram. I have TikTok.
I've seen your Instagrams
Facebook.
and TikToks because
But
we're on there too.
They're small, they're
No, I see
small.
it.
They're
It's going.
growing. A lot of the people that I tattoo right now are people that I have been tattooing. So I have somewhat of an established clientele. It's small, it's not large, but I love them and they love me, and because of that, I'm so grateful and thankful that they come get tattoos from me because it allows me to stay here and keep living here.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm able to now. I'm taking on some different projects that are coming up.
Okay.
I'm wanting to do some different types, like styles of art that I haven't done yet, that I haven't
what?
really released. So right now, like I'm gonna kind of keep it to myself a little bit,
Okay.
kind of as to like where I'm going with it. But I have another artist that I'm like discussing it with, and
Okay.
kinda
What's
my
your
approach.
mainstay for art right now? I saw like old school American.
I
fine
like
line.
old school American just because it's something that you can't really fuck up.
Yeah,
like it's pretty easy to do.
Mhm.
Everybody loves it. I love doing it, and
Yeah.
you can do it in so many different ways, and it makes me happy. I love that style.
Yeah.
But it's not my style.
Okay.
So it takes people quite a while to really come into their own
Mhm.
styles, to where somebody looks at something and go, "Oh, London did that," or,
Right.
"Oh, like Joey did that,"
Sure.
or, "Oh,
You can
Marco
tell
did
just
that."
by the artwork. Yeah.
Yeah. So for me, I'm not in a rush
Okay.
to try and become someone, if
Mhm.
that makes sense. Because
Sure.
like I don't have a lot of ego involved in this.
Mhm.
I want to create a business and I want to create something that's fun and people enjoy and like
Yeah.
my art.
Well, and tattooing's an experience. I mean,
It
you have to
is.
connect with the person
You really
doing
do.
it
And
because
that's
you're
what I
there
love.
for a long time.
And that's what I love.
Yeah.
I get to hear some of the best stories.
I
I
bet.
get to hear some of the most amazing things, and I'm addicted to that. I love
Yeah.
it.
The stories behind the artwork that they're asking
Absolutely.
for.
Yeah, there's that too. That's
I've heard you said it, and I heard you said it today. So back to your clients, they come back to you. Do they come back and get an individual tattoo, or they come back to get something added to the tattoo that was already on? Because I know you got a big one on your back. I know you said you was going to Phoenix to get something finished.
I have a guy in Phoenix that I've seen several times. He did this half sleeve kind of in phases. The one on my back, I did that in 4 sessions. There was a line fill, and then I added line and fill. The next one I want to do is just this whole sleeve, a full sleeve. And that he said we could do it in 2 8-hour sessions, which everyone's like, I don't know, man, that's a lot to do in 2 8-hour sessions. But yeah, so there's single pieces, right?
Right.
And there's like this style where you can kind of do single pieces, which is kind of old school American, and they fill. Or there's like very ornate pieces where it's one cohesive piece that has to be drawn and built together, right? So
I love those. Those are my favorite,
Right.
and I want to
See,
find
I know
people
nothing
that
about
want
tattoos,
those.
so you know exactly what you want when you're getting it done. You know you got to come back and get it done some more.
yeah, you discuss typically like, here's what we're going to do the first session, here's what we're going to do the second session.
Absolutely.
Or sometimes, a lot of people, and I like the artwork too, of where it's just pieces, right? And they kind of slowly start to fill and kind of come together. And then there's filler you can put between those sometimes,
For me, I'd say I'm very hands-on with my clients. So when we talk about what it is that they want, if it's a larger project, I don't talk about budget and money right away.
Right.
I'm just say, okay, like, well, if it could look like completely finished already, what would it look like to you? What, like, when you close your eyes, like, what do you see? Like, let's play a game, you know? And then they close their eyes and I have them describe it to me, right? Like, I want it to look like this. I kind of want to have this feel. So while they're saying that, I'm writing it down, like on my iPad. I have like a file that I keep on this person, and this is their profile, and I'm like writing down these things that they're saying about how they want it to look. And then I go, okay, so do you have reference pictures? Do you have a specific style that you like, that you sort of lean to when you look at tattoo art?
Right.
And then they'll send me, I always ask them for 3 references. They'll send me 3 reference photos. And from there I can go, okay, I know exactly what we're going to do.
Gotcha.
And then I'm able to look at it and tell them, okay, so if you want half an arm, it's going to be about this much. And I will flat rate it for you. And the first amount it'll go towards the lining. And then the second amount will go towards the ending, the last session of shading or coloring or whatever we're going to do.
Yeah.
And typically if someone's like, oh, like, I can't afford that, like, that's outside my budget, it's like, well, what is the budget that you're working with? And then when they tell me that, because I don't up front go, what's your budget? Because then they're going to lowball the fuck out of you.
Right. Yeah.
You're fucked. You already fucked up. So you go through your process.
Right.
You give them their price.
Yeah.
And then from there, you kind of circle back around to kind of, okay, if you can't do this, can you do this? And
Well, and at the end of the day, it's a business, right? You got to make money. But at the same
Right.
time, like, you're providing something that's going to be there forever.
But when they see that you are genuinely trying to work
Exactly.
with them,
Yeah.
that creates a professional bond with you and that person if they are respectful.
Yeah.
And if they're respectful enough to where they understand that and that's there, then you've created a really good client, tattoo relationship.
Right. And to be able to show them,
So-
like, here's kind of what I've designed. And now I know your budget is this, but if we go a little bit farther, not trying to squeeze money out of them, but trying to
Right.
get them the best that they can.
Right.
can
Also,
get.
what's nice to do is they get a little extra cookies on their end where they're like happy.
Yeah.
Is like, you're like, I'm just going to throw in a free hour for you. And we'll just touch up some other little areas, little things, just little flourishes, whatever you see that you want that you don't have yet. Like, we can go through and do that. And they don't have to pay for that.
Yeah.
So
that's
it's,
cool.
and for me, when I tattoo, anybody that's been tattooed by me, it's like they get free touch-ups for like a year. But I've only had to touch up like maybe like 1 or 2 tattoos so far.
That's good.
So like not very many, which I'm thankful because that means that I've done my job right if they don't have to come back
Right.
within
You're
a
not
year
bleeding
for a
it out.
touch-up. Exactly.
Hamp, show her your tattoo.
Where?
Yeah, that's my point. They haven't come up with an ink yet that glows.
Have you ever tattooed?
That glows.
Hamp's black. Have you ever tattooed a black man, black
Melanated
woman?
skin, yes. I've tattooed melanated skin.
Is it
yes.
more difficult?
No, it's not more difficult. It just depends on what they want because you have to use your light source differently.
So what heat? Can you see it at all? I don't.
No.
I kind of saw it once.
Yes.
I got a flashlight.
Honestly, it has to be an old tattoo because it's faded.
It's real old. It's
How old?
Back in 1998.
Yeah, of course. No wonder you can't see it. It's literally the color of his skin now. It's
Yeah.
faded to like no.
It was so bad that it became a welt. Where he tried to was digging into the skin.
What?
Yeah.
What do you mean he was digging into the
Like
skin? Stop.
blood trickling here out my ear.
Were you drunk?
No, I don't drink.
Ham does drink.
So you did that sober?
Yeah.
Huh. I'm just fucking with you. I'm just
I
fucking
can handle
with
any kind of pain, okay? I can handle any kind of pain.
you. Okay.
Yeah, oh yeah.
So you're accepting new clients then?
Yes. I
Okay,
am.
cool. What do you want people that are looking for a tattoo artist right now? I mean, we've covered a lot. I think we've actually got a really good idea on your personality and who you are.
Of course. Aggressive.
Oh,
Come on.
I'm so loving.
But what do you want people to know as far as like your art? Like if you're looking for a tattoo artist, or if I was looking for an artist, like what's your focus? Like
Right
what do you
now,
want to push?
right now, I'm really doing celebrity actors,
Like portraits?
like
Oh, really?
portraits. So even if it's like a family member, but they're dot work portraits. So
Okay.
it's like a mix of like dot work with shading and kind of other things. I can do them in color. I can do them in black and gray.
Very cool.
I'm really liking those. Those are my favorite right now. And I can do that for anything though. So it doesn't have to be a celebrity or an actor or a sports figure. It could also be, you know, an animal of some kind that you really like, you know, something like a stuffed animal that you had when you were a kid and you really liked it. Something that has some sentimental value.
Bunny slippers.
Bunny slippers?
Sure.
Bunny boots, bro. Bunny boots.
Bunny boots. That, and then I'm doing a lot more full body sort of ornamental pieces.
Okay.
These ornamental pieces are very patterned.
Okay.
They are going to be like a full arm, a full leg.
Now, is this kind of in line with, I've seen a lot of the art coming out of local roots where it's
That's very Polynesian.
Polynesian.
It's Polynesian and I think some other different styles. This style is not.
Okay.
It's its own thing. And you'll see when I start to kind of bring it out,
I'm
what it
excited to
looks
see
like.
it. Sounds cool.
Yeah. So, yeah, while I'm away, I'm going to be working on that, and then I'll probably have that released before I come back.
Very cool. You got to post that on
available.
your social medias and
Yeah,
stuff?
I'll post it on my, because right
Awesome.
now my social media is like kind of under, what do you call that? Under construction?
Under construction.
Yeah, it's under construction. So but that's what I'll be working on while I'm away for this next week.
Now, I know several artists that sometimes they want to practice something and they'll do it for free on someone if they're willing to let them do that. Would you do that?
Oh, absolutely.
So if there's something that you want to work on and someone's willing to be the canvas for you. Okay. Do you want to put out like, hey, I'd really like to try this style or this thing? Like I had a buddy that he wanted to tattoo. You ever seen Young Guns? Billy the Kid movie back in the 90s. One of my favorite movies.
Yeah, I think so.
He really wanted to do a portrait of Emilio Estevez, who played Billy the Kid.
Okay.
And one of my favorite movies. I was going to do it, but he's in Arizona. I'm here. And he was going to, he just wanted to do it. And he's like, I'll do it for free, but you got to come here. He did a great job on the guy that got it done. I actually had him, he did an acrylic painting for me of the same tattoo. So I have that.
Oh, that's so dope.
Yeah, it's really nice.
I love that.
I got it hanging up. But he wanted to practice that. You know, something they wanted to do. He nailed it. Is there anything out there like you want to practice that if someone's willing to let you do it?
Ooh.
I mean, you could post it later. I just know, I know people that love tattoos that are like, I'll do it. Let's do it. Let's go.
Yeah, I would love to do the cast and Married with Children.
Really?
Yeah, because I love Peg Bundy and Al Bundy. They're like my favorite.
Okay.
And so.
You ever see Married with Children?
Oh, I love that show.
Yeah. Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So, okay.
Christina Appleby.
Yes. That was one of the shows I was banned to watch as a teenager. My dad's like, you cannot watch Kelly Bundy. You are not allowed to.
Love Kelly Bundy. Love her.
Everybody did, right?
Yeah. Yes, she's great.
And
So you
Bud?
want to do like a cast portrait?
Yeah, I would love to do some portraits of them all. I think that would be amazing.
So if somebody wants that, you'd be willing to.
I would do a sleeve, but it would be like Married with Children, and I'd figure out how to add some funny shit in there. I could even put in their neighbors.
Oh, that's cool.
So-
Yeah. What were their names?
I don't know.
It's like Tracy or
Sam. Or
They were.
Kelly or
Kelly, yeah.
It was
Kelly.
kind of one of those
Kelly?
unisex names.
Oh God, I
can't remember.
Sam?
They were funny though.
Sam. I don't
I think it
remember.
was Sam.
I just
Elliott.
remember Al would always say, he was always saying her name because they were always arguing, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
The husband was always
Always.
like, he's like, hey, everybody's good, you know?
But I love Peggy Bundy. She's like,
Yeah.
she was one of my favorite TV moms. She was great.
Good actors too.
Yeah. So
Oh, she sings
I want
too.
my buddy who
Yeah.
did this tattoo here on my arm. I want him to do Peggy Bundy because he's so good at realism. So that's why I've been saving this part of my arm so I can get Peggy Bundy in here eventually.
Very cool.
I can't do it myself. But.
All right, sweet. Well, we're at an hour and 20 minutes.
Okay, bye.
It goes by pretty fast. Is there anything else you want to get out there before we?
No, I mean, what do people usually say?
I mean, well, we've already covered. You're on TikTok. You're on Instagram.
Yeah.
It's London Gray
Yeah.
on everything.
Let
Tell
me.
them where to find you.
Yeah. Okay. So
Local roots, Des Moines,
yeah.
Washington, off Marine View Drive.
Wow, you really spit that out. Ooh, that was
We do everything
fast.
in Des Moines, Washington, off of
Shit.
Marine View Drive.
Oh, fair enough. All right,
That's how we roll.
So my Instagram is LondonKGray.tattoos.
Okay.
And it's the letter K.
Okay.
Because I've had people ask me like, "Oh, you spell that?" And I'm just like, I really regret putting that in. My name. It's just nonsense. And my TikTok is, let's see what it says. It's just London K Gray.
All right.
So generally it's just the same. And my Facebook is
You should.
London K Gray.
Are you friends with Stick Lounge on Facebook?
I don't know. Let me see.
Send me a request on there because
Yeah.
I'd like to connect you with my buddy's group that he's doing out of Nevada now with all the different artists.
Okay, I need to take myself out of.
I think you'd fit in pretty well.
In Nevada.
Yeah, it's just a group where, artists get together and share artwork and stuff. Is really all
That's
it is.
so.
Yeah, and who knows? I mean, it's
That's
not.
what's up.
He's in Nevada. I don't know where everyone else is. He
Right,
just started
got
the group.
you.
So.
Okay, I'm trying to figure out how I put my phone on airplane. Can I not be 50 years old for a minute? Thank you.
Wait, hold on.
No,
You're not 50. Don't worry, bro.
Yeah, I'm 61.
no.
I got a question while you're trying to figure that out. I noticed you have the gems in your teeth.
Okay.
What's that like? How did you do that?
They're
Are they just glued
easy.
on?
Yeah, so it's the same. So
Do you see those, Ham?
as a
No.
dental
You know,
assistant,
you
they're
can't
so
see shit.
easy,
Never mind.
dude. You just get high grade crystals like Swarovski or whatever,
Mhm.
and you get the same amount of. It's like this little tacky composite
Mhm.
that they use at the dental office, and you get a curing light and you put it on.
Does it stay on forever?
Yeah, I've had these on for like 6 months or
Yeah.
maybe longer. They don't come off.
They don't come off?
They don't come
Okay.
off. I mean, they eventually will come off, but
Sure.
you've got to be kind of hard
I'm
on
sure
them.
you
for
don't
them
have
to
no
come
pizza in your mouth.
I only got to brush some teeth. Can't have some nasty ass teeth. What was I doing? What was I looking for?
I think you're looking for your
How to get
Facebook.
an airplane? No, how to get
See
out of
my
airplane mode?
ADHD. I'm like, what am I doing, you guys?
He's trying to get out of airplane mode.
Yeah, took me that long. No, stick figure.
Yeah, see? Good
I
band.
wish you knew them.
Yeah, I don't
Working
know
on
them
it.
either.
Reggae band.
Okay,
They're good, though.
where is this?
I know
Stick
Steel Pulse.
Lounge.
Yeah, it should just be Stick Lounge. Stick_Lounge, maybe.
No, I just think.
I found it. Okay, so I'm following you.
Okay, cool. I'll kick you some stuff there, too. and-
Okay, cool. I'm weird because like I've never really used Facebook before. This is the only time I've ever really used it. So I have like, I actually have 156 friends. I'm popular.
Look at you.
How popular I am.
Special.
I'm so special because that totally gives me validation.
Yeah, the social media stuff is, I've never really been a social media guy. So trying to push it for the lounge and the podcast and everything else has been an experience.
It is an experience. It's definitely like
you gotta have a presence. None of this matters if you're not on social media.
I know, but you know what? I'm getting into it and I'm enjoying it. As weird as that is, like
Yeah.
I'm really enjoying it. I like it.
Well, it's good then.
So I really need to look at those messages later and not be distracted. My ADHD is like, Joe. No.
Okay, so your local roots
Yeah,
in Des
I'm at
Moines.
local roots in Des Moines.
You're
yes.
accepting new clients.
Yes, I am.
And maybe if somebody wants to get the Bundys out there.
Get the Bundys. Whatever TV show that fucking floats your boat that you like. If you like Peaky Blinders, let's do a Peaky Blinders sleeve.
I
You like
like the Beverly Hillbillies.
we could do that. I mean, I don't.
You need to send her some images.
Like shit.
What? Just Granny in the rocking chair.
Like I don't know.
A jet. A
Let's
Jethro.
just do 90s and like
Okay.
after. Because like that's
All right, Hamp, you're
Really?
out. You're out.
Really?
You're too old.
no, it's just that like I don't know how to.
How to what? Draw?
Damn.
Well, I know how to draw, but
My point. So, draw.
okay.
I'll
I'm gonna
let
have
you
to
two work
now.
that out.
Now I'm challenged to draw you a picture
Now
of the Beverly Hillbillies.
she said I was quiet earlier.
No, you talk shit. That's different. That's different.
He's what we call a sleeper.
I love it.
You just
I
don't
love
know.
it. I love that. You can't draw. Like, that means wait a second. That means I'm a tattooist, not a tattoo artist.
There you go.
But I'm a tattoo artist, bitch. I will draw.
You know
I
what?
do draw.
I'm gonna get with you too because we talked about some stuff that
Yes,
I'm gonna get done.
yes,
so
we did.
awesome. All right, guys. Anything else? I'm gonna play us out. I think
No,
that's
I
a good
just want
episode.
a moment of silence. I lost my
Mind?
no, lost my
my
dad and my cousin
Oh yes, you did.
just yesterday. So just a moment of silence, and that's it.
All right.
Murphy, Paul Isom, and Izell Ellis. Rest in peace, guys.
Yep.
Okay. Thank you.
That was your moment of silence.
That's
Sorry, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, life is
So-
crazy.
Yeah. Never know.
Never know.
Go to sleep and I get up.
Had that happen a lot in different areas lately.
Yeah.
hopefully it kind of peels off and we don't have this happen to us much anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, guys. And on that
Check us
note,
out.
I'm going to play us out. Thanks again, London. It was fun.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
Lights dim, it's game time. Interview sharp, cut through like a shank line. Stick Loung, stories unfold, real and raw. From hustlers to dreamers, breaking laws with a claw. Microphone warriors, capturing life's conflicts. Sitting across legends, tales flick like black pics. Drop bars, not mics, knowledge, it rains. From the streets to the beats in every vein. Stick Loung's podcast, tales heavy with the weight. Real lives, gritty stories, never fake. Joe and Hampton, digging deep, no facade, untold narratives. Every episode